What's happening? Here we go again. Jay, speaking to inspire, living to empower. All right, listen, we're going to talk about, well, not really but because it's not really a dialogue, it's a monologue, I forgot. Well, anyways, I'm going to share a few thoughts with y'all real quick about the journey, right? Life journey. Life is definitely a journey. Please never forget that. Remember, there's seasons to life. And sometimes we throw in the towel when we're going through a winter season, forgetting that in due time, winter does pass and the sun begins to shine again. So I want to just encourage you along the way with a few thoughts. All right, I decided to get serious about financial management, right? Because this is an area of my life that growing up, it wasn't something that we really talked a lot about in my household. And it was just an area of insecurity for me for years because I never sat down to really understand how to be financially intelligent, right? Then I made a whole bunch of bad decisions regarding finances, which of course affected my credit and affected my self-esteem too. All right, straight up affected my self-esteem also. But anyways, like I said, we live to fight another day, and I may lose a battle, but please believe I ain't losing the war. So with that being said, I made a decision to really get serious about addressing my financial standing and really reassessing and transforming my whole management style and approach to finances altogether. I mean, straight up, you don't have to earn like a boss in order to manage like a boss. But if you start earning like a boss and you ain't never learned how to manage like a boss, you're going to be at a major loss. Think about that for a minute. I started listening to Dave Ramsey, started reading different books, and shout out to Heather Schooler. She's also a guru on the subject. She has a book out as well. And I want to share with y'all something. Speaking of me experiencing what it's like to be financially insecure, I know what it's like to be at my last dime. I know what it's like to have the lights turned off. I know what it's like to have eviction notices, or not eviction notices, but near eviction notices on the door. You know, those warning notices, particularly when you're renting. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to be reaching out to people asking them for money. It's not a good feeling, and especially for a man, it can emasculate a man. Like it's not a good feeling at all. And emasculate. Should I be saying demasculate? Listen, I ain't even trying to be grammatically correct right now. You get my point. So anyways, with that in mind, I know what that's like. And I had an experience a little while ago, right? Where I took my car to get the tires rotated. And the guy told me, actually I wasn't getting it rotated. I was getting the tires aligned. And one of the mechanics came out and he told me, he said, look, man, it's a waste of time for us to align your tires because your tires are so bald in the back. They're like in such bad shape that they were in the front. They're in such bad shape in the front that if we align them now, it's going to be just a little while before you need to get new tires because you got a bigger issue than just needing a realignment. You need some new tires. So anyways, by this time I had committed myself to the Total Money Makeover that Dave Ramsey promotes. And I ain't have nothing to lose, man. So I say, listen, I'm going to go ahead and do this Total Money Makeover thing because I'm losing with money anyway, so I can't lose no more. So whatever. Anyways, by this time I started seeing change, started seeing growth, right? And at that time when the mechanic told me, he said, listen, you need to get new tires because we can't give you an alignment with your tires being in this condition. And truthfully, I knew my tires was in bad condition, but let me tell you something. When you broke-minded, you think like a broke person, right? And because I was broke-minded for so long, I was thinking broke. I knew my tires were bald. I knew they were bad. But when you broke, you start making up excuses and lies, right? But I was telling myself, well, they not that bad. I mean, I can make it another week. You know, I can make it another month. I'll be all right. And he was like, nah, man, it's not. Nah, you need new tires like right away. So because I had been working the system as far as transforming the way I approach managing finances, right? I was ready. But the person behind the counter didn't know I was ready. She wasn't used to dealing with my type. This is how I knew. She started giving me alternatives to paying full price for the tires. Like she was saying things like, well, and I saw it in her body language too. Like she was like, well, you don't, if you can't pay for the tires right away or all at once, you don't have to. You can just pay some of it now. By the way, this time I'm just listening. She's like, you know, you can just pay some of it now and then you can, you know, pay it off afterwards. I asked her, right? By this time I got my chest all puffed up, my neck all straight in the wreck. I say, go ahead, just give me a quote. How much are the tires? So she's still not, I can tell she's still not used to dealing with somebody with that kind of mentality just yet, because she was still like, you know, well, again, I can give you the tires, but I can give you the price of the tires, but again, you don't have to pay for them all at once, and you know, you can just pay for it bit by bit. Again, I'm erect. I'm unmovable right now because I've been following the Dave Ramsey Total Money Makeover. I'm prepared for this thing. I've been working on my emergency savings and all that stuff. I'm like, how much are the tires? She gives me a quote. I said, all right. I pull out my debit card, not credit card, because Dave Ramsey don't believe in credit. Neither do I, okay? Even though I done made some stupid decisions with credit, I don't believe in credit. And for many, many sensible reasons. But anyway, so I'm standing erect. I pull out my debit card. I know how much is on. I say, here you go. Go ahead and swipe that. Let's go ahead and order those tires. How soon will they be in? Oh, tomorrow? I'll be back tomorrow. We can go ahead and have the tires. And anyways, at the time, again, looking at her body language, I can tell she was surprised. She wasn't expecting me to be ready. I don't know if it's because I look younger than I really am, whatever. But anyway, she wasn't expecting me to be ready just like that. And I can tell by her body language. But anyways, I brought that story up to say this. There are three aspects to total health. Self-esteem, you have self-esteem, self-image, and self-esteem, self-image, and self-ideal. All right? Self-esteem, self-image, self-ideal. And basically, if we're not healthy in all three of those areas, if we don't see the person we want to be, if we don't recognize the person we are, as well as have a good estimate of who we are and our value, it would affect the way we think, and as well as every other area of our lives, because as a person thinks, so are they. And I'm saying that to say, when your money isn't right, and I'm not talking about earning a lot of money, but when you know you are poor at managing money, and when it comes down to needing the necessities of life, when it comes down to really experiencing life at its fullness because you've prepared yourself accordingly, let me tell you something, man. It messes with your mind. It messes with your emotions. It messes with your health. I think underlying and low key, it causes strokes, hypertension, high blood pressure, stress. Studies already show that it causes a lot of issues in marriages. And I done been married, and I know that it causes issues in marriage when you don't manage money right. And I'm sharing this with you from the heart, because if this sounds like you, listen, we can't afford to not address this thing no more. It's time to get serious about how we manage finances. It's time to get real about it and get disciplined, because listen, it's not fun being in a position where you need something and you can't afford to get it. And when you look at how much money you earning and how much money you have earned, there's no reason for you to be without other than just being careless with earning money. I said all that to go here. It's imperative to have a support system. All right. This past weekend, I went down to Greenville, which is about an hour away from where I live, to sit down face to face with one of my godmothers. My godmother is a guru in the area of financial management. She's totally debt free. She's serious about working the system, and I love it. I went down there and sat with her and poured my heart out. Let her know, listen, Ma, I'm struggling with this financial management stuff. I hate budgeting. I don't like sitting down and writing out a budget and disciplining myself in these particular areas, telling myself this is how much you're going to spend this month. This is how much you can't spend this much. I hate it. I don't like the way I feel when I'm going through the motion and the process. However, I realize that it's imperative for me to take control of this thing, or else by the time I'm 40 and 50, I'm going to be miserable. I'm going to have a fat belly, and I'm not going to be happy with looking in the mirror and seeing the man that I become. So I got to attack this thing right now. And anyways, after pouring out my heart, my mama gave me a good pep talk. and she helped me get my mind back focused. I'm attacking this week with vigor, determination, and energy. I'm sharing that with you to say this. It's imperative for you to find some good mentors. It's imperative for us to be surrounded by a support group that's going to help us dig out the best that's inside of us. And especially when we really don't feel like pressing forward, it's important for us to have a support group that we can turn to and actually let them know, listen, this is how I feel. I feel like giving up just before the finish line. And they allow us space and room to pour out without condemning us and judging us, but at the same time, they're strong enough to lend a helping hand and say, listen, I love you too much to let you stay right there. I'm pulling you up higher. I'm inviting you to come forward, and I'm letting you know I got your back, and I'm gonna help you along the way. So friends, I said a lot in this video, it feels like. I didn't even mean for it to be this long, but man, my heart started pouring out. And I've been told that I can be long-winded. So with that being said, we're going to stop it right here. Or like they say over in France, we're going to stop it right here. I never been to France. I don't think they say that. I just wanted to throw that in because I thought it sounded cool. But this is your boy Jay, your bro, speaking to inspire, living to empower, wishing you all the best. Peace.